talk about something that I'm very passionate about, and that is tattoos. Initially, I got my first tattoo when I was 18 because I had to wait till I was 18 to get a tattoo. Now I'm 32 and I have over 100 tattoos. So initially I kind of grew up in a tattoo industry situation. So when I went to kindergarten and primary school, one of my closest friends there, her dad had a tattoo shop. So usually once we were off school, I would come hang out there. In the weekends, I would come hang out there. I was just there a lot because that's where her family was. They were living above it. It was just very normal for me to be around tattooed people, to be in a tattoo studio. My dad has always been part of motorcycle clubs. Everyone, his friends all had tattoos. He has tattoos. It was always just a very normal thing. My parents are very into music, so am I. And I feel like music and tattoos just go hand in hand, you know what I mean? Kind of like where my love for tattoos started. So I was very much a scene queen. I was very much an emo girl. I loved metal. It all started off with obviously just like Good Charlotte and Tokyo Hotel and more like the Rasmus, like all these like more calmer bands, and that evolved into Silverstein, into Bring Me the Horizon, and so on. So here we are at 32, still loving that type of music so much. It really shaped me as a person in my teenage years. I always knew I was gonna get tattoos. Not necessarily to the degree that I am right now, but I always knew from when I was a child that I wanted to get tattoos because I just thought that was the coolest way of self-expression. I was also on the cover of Tattoo Life magazine in 2020, and I did a whole interview in here about all my tattoos. People ask me all the time if I regret tattoos, if I like, oh, what if you're gonna regret them? I don't really live by that type of way. I am very much a Capricorn. I'm very much a manifestor in human design. If I want something, I'm gonna get it. I know very clear if something is for me or if something is not, and I've always been this way. I'm never really one to doubt about things. If I have something in my head, it's just go time and it just goes, and that's kind of like how I always have lived my life. So obviously there's tattoos that I have that I not necessarily would get tattooed today, but they're part of me, they're part of my history, and they're parts of memories, they're parts of certain times in my life where it just felt right to get that tattooed. So that is like something that I have no regrets over. Yes, I've removed 2 of my tattoos. I'm removing 1 right now as well, but those were not like per se from regrets. They were just not done really well. They kind of like faded, and I could either get them redone or just get something else, and I opted for getting something else because it would just flow better. I love a cohesive looking sleeve. I know that that's not for everyone, but it's a question I get so often on social media. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I've mentioned it here and there before because it's a question I get asked a lot, how my tattoos look so cohesive. So if you really love a cohesive tattoo look, I think it is really important to keep a few things in mind. First, I think spacing is crucial. If you want it to look cohesive, I personally wouldn't like have like a full-on sleeve that everything is stuck together and then have parts, but that's only if you care about the cohesive sleeve. Not everyone cares about that. So this is solely for the people that do want like a cohesive look like I created. And this has been work over 12-14 years. It's not something that just happened overnight for me. I really have so many older tattoos combined with new ones, but the few things that I keep in mind is I really like what I said, the spacing, then also the line work. I make sure that the lines really match together. Like usually I go for the same line thickness if possible, also the same type of shading. I feel like that just really helps with the look of it. Then I obviously have a huge preference for traditional American tattoos, but in black, so black work combined with traditional tattoos. This is just my gem. I've always loved it. I love the culture behind it. I seriously love it so much that is just really how I always wanted my tattoos to look like. I know a lot of people are into fine lines, stuff like that. That's not really my jam, but I can really appreciate it because the details are just so incredible. But for me, it's always been traditional. I initially said that I did not want my legs tattooed, and lo and behold, 4 years ago, I started my legs because my arms were full. My back is almost done, and there's that. That's just how I guess it goes once you start getting a lot of tattoos, and it's just been so fun. I love it. It's such a fun hobby. I just really see it as a hobby to have like tattoos, to get a tattoo, and I think it's so special. Like I have a bunch of matching tattoos. Tattoos hold memories. My best friend passed away in October and we have this matching tattoo, and I just, every time I look at my right hand, I just like know and think of her, and just like our connection, and it's just so special. I think tattoos can have such meaning, but also some tattoos just don't have a meaning. Like I have so many tattoos that are kind of like fun, just funsies, you know, just like fun tattoos, just because why not? I love getting things tattooed that I really enjoy. So for example, I love Jurassic Park, I love Harry Potter, I love Shrek, so I have tattoos of those movies because I literally, those movies raised me, and those are just like really a part of me that I've always enjoyed. I got a Labubu tattooed in November that I'm getting a lot of hate for, but that's okay because it's not for everyone, and it doesn't matter because it's on my leg and I'm the one that's living with it. I love it so much, which has been a hobby of mine for over a year. I love Rilakuma. I have that tattooed. I do not have Hello Kitty tattooed, but I might perhaps do that one day. But I have like Rilakuma tattooed on my arm. I just love getting stuff tattooed. That means a lot to me. I have my pets tattooed. I have my wedding date tattooed. There's just so much that I love, and memories that I just love getting tattooed. Not everything has to be so serious. I mean, like, what are the odds that we are alive right now? And we are. And I think that is so incredible and so special. And life is too short, and that's one thing that I really installed in myself even more since my best friend passed away in October. She was only 35, and my husband and I have lost a lot of people over the last few years, and a lot of them that were way too young to die. And I just think that it's just a reminder that life is so short. Do what brings you joy. Do what makes you what makes you more individual, what makes you more unique, what makes you more you, because that's all there is, right? And I just think that's beautiful, and I love it so much. And I could literally talk about tattoos for hours because I'm literally so passionate about them. And that is also why I started Rebel June. So if you don't know me, or you just don't know this part of me, I own a tattoo aftercare company called Rebel June. I started this company in 2022. I initially started to work on this, and it took me like a year to launch it, and we eventually launched in November 2023. It's been like 1.5 years at this point, so we're very much still in the startup phase of everything. But I really wanted to create a product that I loved, because I've been getting tattooed for like 10+ years, and I never found a tattoo aftercare brand or a tattoo aftercare product that I really genuinely liked, and that I liked the ingredients, the packaging, the branding, the formula itself, like everything, the functionality, everything of it. So I decided one day, I was sitting in the bathtub and I was crying, and I felt so miserable. I literally felt so miserable in the job I was at the time. I was still doing interior design for Airbnbs here in Austin, and I felt just so miserable and stuck. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna start. And that's what I said earlier with like, I just get like this light bulb thing. I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, why is there nothing out there for women? Why is everything so catered to men? Why is everything catered to pharmaceutical or manly looking when there's so many tattooed women out there? So that is why I created Rebel June. And that's the evening that I created Rebel June. The name came to me, everything came to me, and it just made so much sense. And that is just what I went with. It took me really a long time to find a manufacturer that I liked and aligned with, to work on a formula that was also in the US, because that's something that was important to me. So I knew some ingredients that I really liked and a lot of the things that I did not like, and that's a good thing, because it's always good to know what you like, but it's even more important to know what you don't like. So when we tried out the formula, I got so many new tattoos just to try it out, to see how it was doing, what it was doing to the skin, to the tattoo, everything. And so we eventually launched the Balm. It only has 10 ingredients. I love it. It comes in a tube because I really wanted something that I wanted to carry in my handbag with me, and also something that you can, with long nails, really, you know, just really use. With long nails, it's easy. I really wanted to create a balm because I don't really like a lotion. So let's get into why I don't like a lotion. And the reason why I don't really like a lotion, because like, yes, it's lightweight and it feels nice and it's easy to soak up, but it doesn't actually soak up completely, that it reached the deeper layers of your skin. And that's why I love a balm, because besides that, a balm does really get into those deeper layers. A balm also, because it's made from oil and wax, it really makes skin more hydrated and it stays hydrated longer. Something that's really important with getting a tattoo, and it just like really nourishes the skin longer, it stays longer, it is just better for you, because usually lotions have a lot of filler ingredients, alcohols, like all these extras that I don't really want in any of my products. So that is why I created the balm. So when it comes to tattoo healing, there's actually a lot that goes into it. So what actually heals the tattoo? Essentially, a new tattoo is a skin wound. So what your immune system does is it sends all these white blood cells to your tattoo from the inside to fight the bacteria and to also help repair the tissue. New skin cells will grow, and they will grow over the ink, and just like new skin will appear, and that will heal the wound. And this is where healing comes into play. So I personally do not stand for dry healing, because when it comes to dry healing, it's really not good for a wound to stay dry and start scabbing too early. A wound needs to stay moisture. So what is really important with healing is moisture and barrier protection. Healing skin needs to be slightly moist to heal better. And that's why people love using second skin too, because it actually, the wound stays moist, and that's what helps the healing. I personally don't like second skin. It really irritates my skin. I have really sensitive skin. I cannot do it, but I've used it a lot when I was still working as a nurse and did a lot of wound care, which I feel like I've lived so many lives, but that's what I used to do in the Netherlands. So you really want to prevent cracking, and that's why moisture is so important, because once it starts to crack, there can be scabs that start to form that then fall off too soon. And if those scabs fall off too soon, that's when the ink gets pulled with it, and then you have to go back to get stuff retouched, and you want to avoid that. Oh my god, it's storming so loud. Do you hear that? That is nuts. So while your body heals your tattoo, the right aftercare supports it. And that is why I formulated the balm like I did. So there's almond oil in it, because almond oil really prevents cracking. It helps reduce itchiness, which is always a must, because there's nothing worse than an itchy tattoo in the healing stage that you cannot scratch. Like, that just drives you wild, right? Then there is calendula flower in here. I absolutely love calendula. It has so many healing properties, and it helps to reduce swelling, it helps reduce inflammation, redness, all the good things. Honestly, like, calendula is your girl when it comes to tattoo healing. And all the components together in the balm helps to heal your tattoo faster. I've gotten so many reviews of people saying like, oh, I feel like it heals my tattoo faster. And you're like, I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like it heals my tattoo faster. And it really does, because of all the ingredients together. There's also lavender oil in it, and I know that people think that it's very controversial, because it's actually not added for fragrance. Obviously, when it comes to tattoo healing, you don't want any perfumes, alcohols, anything that is a fragrance, because it's not good for your skin. The same with like why I don't like petroleum, like it just clogs up your pores. It is not good for skin healing. But lavender oil has so many healing benefits, and this has really been used for wound healing for centuries. So initially, because lavender oil is antibacterial, the good thing about lavender is that it's very, very gentle, but it does have really powerful antibacterial properties, really powerful properties that really help to reduce inflammation. And that is why initially I added lavender, and it's just a plus that it smells really good. So a lot of work and a lot of thought went into me creating the balm, because I really wanted to create something that you can use to help support your body from the outside while your body does the hard work from the inside. And just to leave you with a tattoo that is actually making you really, really happy, and that you don't have to be bummed about, oh, it has cracks, ink fell out, stuff like that, and you have to go back. And you also don't want like the healing phase to disrupt your day-to-day life, right? There's nothing more frustrating, like I said, than like a really itchy tattoo and you're at work and you're not allowed to touch it because it is healing, but also like it's just frustrating. And that's really why I created this, and I just hated everything out there. So passionate about it. I love the ingredients so much. I use it for everything.
So you can really use the balm to brighten up your older tattoos and to make them pop. And this is why I use it on a daily basis as well, and not just for tattoo healing.
Like if I have a dry spot, if I have like a weird irritated skin, I use it as cuticle oil. I use it as a lip balm. I've even heard people use it as a makeup remover. I do not, because my face skin is very sensitive, but I love it for everything else. It's the only thing I use on my tattoos on a daily basis, because it is actually multifunctional. I made it multifunctional because there's not a lot of people out there that get as many tattoos as I do in a year. And there's nothing I hate more than throwing away a product that is expired, that is not finished, because it just feels like you threw away money, right? Your hard-earned money. So I really wanted to make something that actually was that you could use in multiple ways. It is less of a waste. I also made a wash, and our wash is also just a little bit different than any other antibacterial soap that is out there for tattoos. Initially, obviously, our packaging is very simple because it has to be foaming and stuff like that, but it has some really unique ingredients, and let's talk about it. The balm is vegan, but the wash definitely is not, because there's a little bit of honey in it, because honey is really good. Honey has antibacterial properties, and I really wanted to add that to the wash to really have it be beneficial for your healing. Like, obviously there's people that use dial soap and stuff like that, which is great, but I feel like that leaves such a squeaky feeling that I don't like afterwards. And I really made this because it's very soothing. It has oat oil in it, which is very soothing and very calming for your body. I absolutely love it, and that's why I created this as well. I feel like this was the first time that I got my knee tattooed using my own products, and it was night and day difference. The other knee that I actually got done a couple years ago was so rough, it was so swollen, it was so irritated, and even though this knee was so much more black, I feel like it was such a breeze. There was no swelling, it barely was itchy. Even though there was so much black in it, I was actually so worried about it, but I feel like it healed so well because of using the wash and the balm as a combination. So that's just a little bit about me and my company, and I know I'm just been rambling about it now. I feel like I haven't even taken a breath or a sip, but I'm just so excited to talk about it because I genuinely believe so much in my product, and I genuinely believe so much that there should be better tattoo care out there than there is, and that's why I created it, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I really love tattoos and it's just such a big passion. Talk a little bit about my palm before we log off here. It's almost been 3 years since I got my palm tattooed. It was done only once, and I went to Mark Walker for it, and he is specialized in palms. I initially wanted to get tattooed by him for years. I really wanted him to do my palms, so I really waited till I had the chance to get tattooed by him. It has been 3 years. It looks exactly like when I got it. When it comes to palm tattoos, definitely do your research and make sure to go to someone that really knows what they're doing, because palm tattoos are very tricky. They don't always stay, and not everyone is capable to do it and to make it stick. And there's nothing worse than having your palm tattooed multiple times, because literally it was the worst pain ever. It was definitely my most painful tattoo, besides like my knees, my elbows. I didn't find my neck or the top of my hands too bad. Fingers are kind of icky because I feel like that just hurts so much for some reason, maybe just so right on the bone, but it's so quick that you then kind of forget about it. I also really don't like upper thighs. Like, I don't know. Back is also very sensitive. I just feel like the older you get, the more it hurts. That's why you see me use numbing cream all the time in my videos when I do like a tattoo vlog, because I just love it. I love using numbing cream because it just helps so much and just like makes your nervous system more chill, and you don't get as exhausted. This was all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about tattoos or tattoo aftercare, tattoo healing, tattoo designs, anything that you want to know, let me know in the comments, because I'm more than happy to keep yapping about tattoos because I'm just so passionate about it.